Today, you'll be learning how to make a car. For this, you'll need a couple materials: paper cups, straws, skewers, paper clips, popsicle sticks, a glue gun, tape, scissors, rubber bands, and a propeller that can be bought online at Walmart or Amazon.
Alright, so the next thing we're going to make is this car. Right, so first thing we're going to start off is by building this base. Okay? So our first step is to just glue two popsicle sticks so that they're a long way. So we just take these two and glue them right at the edges to make a long piece. So it looks like that. And we're going to do this twice, so we're going to make another one. So take two more. And then just glue them together. Alright, so now we have two longer pieces. Right? So, and we're going to want these two pieces to connect together. Right? So they're going to connect at the edges. So at this point, on the edge, as well as the middle. So we're just going to use three more popsicle sticks and just connect them at those three locations. So you get something that looks like this. Right, so that's going to be this base right here on the bottom, right? So you can see we have something that kind of goes up on the side. So we're going to do what we did on our zip line, and we're going to take three of these and glue them together so that it turns into two long pieces. So we're going to take these two, and then put this one right in the middle between those two to create a longer piece. So see, it's right around the middle of both pieces. And the same thing with this other side. Right, so we get this longer piece, right? And what we want is we want to attach it to the base, kind of going up at an angle, right? So in order to do this, we're going to take our popsicle stick and kind of break it up into smaller pieces. So now I have some smaller pieces that I can work with, right? So what I'm going to do with this first piece is I'm just going to glue it onto here, so it's kind of going up at a 90-degree angle, right? So I'll put some glue on here and put it on the side, and so that's kind of going up. And if it doesn't seem like there's enough glue, you can add some extra glue on the corners just to make sure it stays on there better. So we have that piece going up now. Right. So we want this piece to be glued to this back part in the middle of the base, and then kind of resting on top of this front piece that we just put on. Right, so there's going to be two spots that we're going to want to glue it on. So I'll start with the back. So I glued it on there. And then add a little bit more to the front. And like I did before, is I'll just add a little bit extra glue on the sides just to make sure that it stays where it's supposed to, a little bit easier. You can see when it's like this, it's still going to be able to kind of want to fall either towards me or towards you, right, on either side. So that's what this other little piece right here is for, is to kind of attach it to this middle section So it attaches to the middle section, and it also goes onto this side right here, right? So I want to put it on this bottom and go right here. I'll try to make it as flat as possible. So there's more points of contact between our popsicle stick piece and our base. Right, so try to make it as flat as possible. So I'm just take this right here and put a little bit on the side where I'm gonna glue it. And just attach it like this. Make it quite a bit stronger. So add a little bit more on each side. So now it looks like this. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our straws and we're going to attach them to the bottom of this base that we just created. Right. So what I did is I glued those on, but you can tape them as well. Either way, whatever you have to work with. So for this, I like to put the glue on the wood and then attach the straw to that. So you get something like this. So you can see it's kind of sticking off the edge a little bit, and that's fine. And what we want is we want to do the same thing to this other side and put it in the back. Right, so I'm going to take glue and put it on this front piece. So that looks like this. And what we're going to do with these skewers is we're actually going to put them through the straw, right? And then we're going to attach our wheels to our skewer. Okay? So we're going to make some wheels. And we're going to do that using our Dixie cups. All right? So right here you can see I just cut off a little piece of a Dixie cup. Right, so if you want, you just take this and then you just cut off a piece, and that's what I did here. And this is what I'm going to use as kind of like my template to make sure that all the wheels are the same. So I just place that on top and take a pen or pencil and just trace it around where it connects to our new cup. So once you do that, you can see we have a line that's all the way around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along that line. So I'm going to do that to all of these cups so that they're all the same. So using that same length. Right. So do this 8 times. Okay. All right, so now that we have the line drawn on all 8 of these, we're just going to go ahead and cut along the line using the scissors. All right, so just kind of take this and make a hole, and then once I have a hole, it makes it easier just to cut along that line. And it's not really important how thick this is, right? So if you want really thin wheels, you can make this really skinny. If you want really thick wheels, you can make it a little bit thicker, right? So what you really want to try to do is try to make this as flat as possible, right? So you can take this and maybe go like this just to make sure it's flat and flatten that out a little bit. So you're going to do that for all of these different cups. All right, so now I have my 8 parts. So if you can kind of compare it to what we started with, you can see that this template that I started with is actually a little bit bigger than what I got, because there's a little bit of distance between the bottom of this and what's kind of sticking out. So that's why these turn out a little bit smaller than what I start with. That's why I use an extra one, but that's fine. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to connect these together to create a wheel, right? And we want these skewers to go through them. So I find it's easier to be able to start off with by trying to find the middle of this, right? So maybe you can use a pen or pencil, and then maybe kind of roughly sketch and say maybe the center is about right there. So I just take the skewer and just poke a little hole through that point, right? So you can see if you just use one by itself, it seems to be a little bit wobbly. So that's why I like using 2 of these. So just find the center and then poke a hole. And so now I have the hole, I put those 2 together, and then you can use either tape or glue. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue to attach those. So just right along the seam between those 2. You have this, and you create your wheel. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry, putting it off the side, and do the same thing to another 2. All right, so now that we have our 4 wheels, so we're just going to attach one to a skewer. All right, so just poke it through one side, that's coming out. So now you can see it doesn't wiggle as much, right? So it's a lot stronger. So once it's on there, we're just going to glue it to the skewer. So just put the glue on this side, and then on the other side as well. Okay, so now we have our wheel on. We can either do the front side or the back side. So you just kind of slide that on. You see it's still able to rotate. And then we're going to put a wheel on the other side. So just slide it through those 2 holes. So it looks something like this. And we'll do the same where we glue it on. And make sure not to glue it to the straw, because that'll make it harder to rotate, and we want it to rotate like wheels. All right, so we have them glued on, and see they kind of roll like this. And we want to do the same thing to the back. All right, so now we have our car. All right, but we're going to want it to go, right? So we want to move using our propeller. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper clip. Right, we're just going to bend it a little bit, right, little angle, and then glue the smaller side onto our popsicle stick. Of this. a little extra glue on here. And then I'm going to add some tape to tape the paper clip to the popsicle stick as well. A small piece of tape. Just put it over. And then fold that down. And that can go around. To the other side. And if you want, you can put some more tape right there as well. So we're going to take our propeller and then attach it to the front part of our popsicle stick that's sticking out. So it rotates like this. Right? So now we're going to want to attach that to our paper clip. So same thing, right here you can see it's not long enough. So we'll make it longer by looping these two together. So take it, go through the middle, and then go through the loop. So we have two that are connected. So now we have it all looped together, right? So see, do the same thing we saw before. You loop this up, see how everything's getting twisted. So like this, everything's all tight now. But if you keep going, like we saw before, you get like a second loop that starts to develop. So we're going to do that, and we want that to go all the way through. So it's all the way up here, and it's starting to form on the bottom one. So once you get it, let it go, and it starts to go, right? So that'd be your car. You'd be able to roll like this. And if you want, you can change these up, right? So you can ask yourself, what happens if I add, more rubber bands, right? What if I wanted to, use different tires? What kind of tires can I use? Can I use like really, really, wide tires? Can I use really, really tiny tires? Can I use thin tires, right? What if I wanted to make a motorcycle? Is that possible, right? What if I want to use 3 wheels? So there's a lot of different things you can do with this, and just sort of experiment and try to work that out to see, different types of cars you can create at home.
Thank you so much for joining us in learning how to make your own car. We hope you join us for the next video. While you're here, check out EPSCoR's website for more activities you can do under the Education tab or under our Nature Sunday Academy page. When you do these activities at home, feel free to take pictures or videos and tag us at EPSCoR. Tell us all about your fun with STEM at home. Thanks for watching.